What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Talking Timepieces with Tony. And today we're going to talk about Grail watches. So let's roll the new intro, the less offensive intro. Or let me know if you like the more offensive one. If you have a sense of humor or whatever. But this one's just more straight ahead. Anyway, let's do it. All right, everyone. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribing to my new channel. Again, I lost my last channel. I've said it in every video. It sucks. It's what it is. We're going to move forward and keep plodding along. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate all my old subscribers. I appreciate the people that came over from my last channel. You guys rock. So today I am wearing my Mont Blanc Heritage Salmon Dial. Been wearing this one a little bit more. I really like it. At first, gosh, man, I was like, kind of having a hard time with it. I wasn't sure if I really liked it that much. I mean, I bought it, and initially I wasn't gonna buy it. I ended up buying a Nomos, you know, but then I went back and I bought this one. And actually, the more I've been wearing it, the more I am loving it. So, okay, having said that, let's talk about Grail watches, Grail pieces. What is your Grail watch? What is a Grail watch? A Grail watch is the pinnacle, something you strive for. This is what I want. Oh my God. It doesn't have to be a Patek Philippe. It does not have to be a Vacheron Constantin. It does not have to be a Breguet. It doesn't have to be any of those super high level expensive watches. And if you're like me and you're lucky enough to have started from gradually through years and years, getting watches and getting your Grail watches, you'll find that you get your watch and then you strive for the next one up, and that's where that addiction begins with collecting watches or being an absolute nutbag watch guy, or girl. So and then some of those guys, like those YouTube millionaires that their first, well, I want my first watch, I got my first timepieces of Patek Philippe, and you're just like, dude, you missed the whole experience of it all. You went out and bought this piece that's like, sorry man, this fucking mic, sorry. So I hope that, I don't know what kind of noise that just made, but it's they go out and they buy their first watch as a Rolex, or their first watch a Patek, or a first watch as a Vacheron. You've missed. It's almost like growing up too soon. You know what I mean? You're born, you're young, and all of a sudden, oh, my first car was a BMW, my first car was a Mercedes. It's like, dude, part of the experience is, getting that Ford Escort as your beater car, hoping it's going to make it to its fucking destination. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to start with where I started. And when I was young, I mean, my first watch really was, I think, an Omega, but that's because my dad gave it to me and I didn't take care of it. He took it away. And then, long story short, I got it back when he passed away in 2004. But essentially, when I first got into watches, I can't remember that far back because I am that old. So when the 80s kind of rolled around, and I was real young, but I was like, and Swatch became this like the big thing. I wanted a Swatch. I was like, oh my God, I want a Swatch. I can't afford that. I didn't have the money to buy a Swatch. Keep in mind, I've been working ever since I was, even in school, delivering newspapers or whatever I was doing. I was always working. I never had any money. I was always fucking broke, So to me, getting a Swatch, that was like the coolest thing, And so finally I get a Swatch. Okay, this is not the one, because I don't have the one that I had back then. I wish I kind of still did. And you get a Swatch and you're like, I rocked that Swatch for, oh man, I can't tell you how long. I love that watch. I wore it every single day, And, and then you'd see people that would wear multiple ones on their wrist. So I wanted more than one, you know what I mean? So then that's where you go and you get another Swatch, And again, this is a relatively new one. I love this watch. Then you go and you get another swatch, and that was like a Grail timepiece for me, not knowing what Grail timepieces were, so to speak, you know. So from there, when I was in my 20s, you know, luxury watches like the Movado Museum, was really popular, but they were like the next level. I mean, I mean, bypass, Citizen or even Seiko or Pulsar watches of that nature, and getting a Movado was like almost like a sign that you made it, you know. And I remember being a long hair rock and roll guy, just in the music business and still broke, and I was finally able to get my first Movado, and that was a museum timepiece. I have one still that I've had for almost 20 years, but it's not the same one. So I got the Movado. That was a Grail piece, man. You had that Movado. I rocked that, and when you'd go out to the clubs and people saw you had a Movado, you must have been doing well for yourself. You know what I mean? So then from there it was the Tag Heuer link. If you remember that, that was the one with the funky looking links. You'd have like a stainless steel, a gold plated, stainless steel, gold plated. And again, if you had one of those, that was like almost one step above Movado. You know what I mean? And those are your goals that you strive for. The more successful you get, or the more money you make, that you can buy these watches. And at those times, it was a little bit of a status symbol for a young person to have that, not like but then there was the older generation that have them too. And there's still the older generation that don't give a shit about, what watch they have. So it doesn't matter. I'm just talking about, you know, working up to your Grail watch. So from there, in my 20s now, keep in mind, Rolex was my ultimate goal, but that was way out of my reach. And Cartier was my ultimate goal, just equally, probably as much as as uh, as Rolex was. And Patek Philippe was another one that I just knew I would never be able to get. And Vacheron Constantin was my favorite brand. So I started learning about all these brands that were like just ridiculously amazing watches that I don't know. I wouldn't say I didn't know if I would ever be able to afford them, but I thought, man, that's I'd have to be a multimillionaire to get one of those. You know what I mean? Mm, so it all depends, whatever your goal is. If your ultimate goal is a Rolex Datejust or an OP, that's a Grail watch in itself, and that could be your ultimate goal, and that's where you stop. When people go, well, it's an entry level into the brand, so you can move up. No, fuck that shit. I hate that term, entry level, because what may be an entry level for some might be their final destination as far as what their Grail watch is. Not everybody wants a fucking Daytona. I'm sorry, can I say Daytona? But or whatever it is, you move up. I remember when I was finally able to get my first Rolex, I got a Datejust, and I was just super stoked. When before I got my Rolex Datejust, I remember getting a Fossil watch that had a diamond cut, whatever. I remember Tissot was another brand I loved. But then you kind of move up and you go for that Rolex or the Datejust, and then you get you know Cartier Santos was like so far above what I ever thought I would be able to get as well. And I looked at this, and I thought, this is where it's at. Fuck AP, man. This is before Gerald Genta, man. You know, even though people think that the Santos, oh yeah, it's got that AP kind of look. No, 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 no. This is far long before Gerald Genta did the AP, or Patek Philippe Nautilus. But I love the Nautilus, not so much that I would really want one of those. The my Grail Patek would be just about any Calatrava. I love the Calatrava, and I love the Aquanaut. I just love the simplicity of it. And so from there, I move up to Rolex, and then I never thought, once I got a Rolex Datejust, I never thought I would be able to get a Submariner. So now I have a Submariner, and it's like, I love this watch. I still have a wish list, as my sister calls it, a wish list. Jeager Lecoultre, or Jeager Lecoultre. Those Jeager Lecoultres are great watches. It's funny when you listen to uh, Americans or whatever try to pronounce the names of luxury watch brands the way that they do in Switzerland or Paris, like Cartier. When you hear a white person, like me, go, Vacheron Constantin, Frederic Constant, it's like, it sounds fucking stupid. So, but Jeager Lecoultre, is another one of my Grail watches. Patek Philippe. So what's your Grail watch, man? Why don't you tell me? Leave me some comments. Ask me some questions. I do videos. I answer. All right. So having said that, I'm probably sure I left a whole bunch out of what I really wanted to talk about, which was Grail watches, but maybe more so than what I did. But other than that, cheers. It's Friday night. Enjoy yourselves and wait for another edition of Talking Timepieces with Tony. Please like and subscribe because I love you guys and you need to do that. That's right.